Sarah Mitchell stood in the middle of Cartier on Dubai's most exclusive shopping avenue, her hands shaking so badly the sales associate had to clasp the $15,000 diamond bracelet around her wrist for her. She wasn't nervous. She was fucking terrified and exhilarated and possibly losing her mind, but she wasn't nervous. Behind her, Lisa held up her phone, barely suppressing wild laughter, as Sarah turned to the camera with mascara smudged under her eyes from crying in the hotel room 20 minutes ago. "This bracelet," Sarah said, her voice cracking slightly, "costs more than my car. My husband, Marcus, told me 3 weeks ago we couldn't afford to fix my air conditioning. Said I needed to understand the difference between needs and wants." She touched the diamonds, cold and sharp against her skin. "He was right about one thing. This is definitely a want. But you know what else was a want? The $168,000 he spent on his 25-year-old girlfriend over the past year while I was buying store-brand tampons." The sales associate's professional smile collapsed into genuine shock. Sarah didn't care. She pulled out her phone with trembling fingers, opened her banking app, turned it to face the camera. The balance read $190. 3 days ago, this account had $50,000 in it. Want to know where it went? Sarah's laugh came out slightly unhinged. "Everywhere. I spent it everywhere. On me. And in about." She checked her new Rolex, another impulse purchase that made her stomach flip with guilt and glee. 6 minutes. "When my husband's mistress realizes the money for her luxury vacation is gone, and I'm the one living her fantasy, he's going to lose his goddamn mind." Lisa's hand shook. "Girl, when he sees these charges." "Good." Sarah's smile was all teeth, no warmth. "He spent a year making me feel crazy. Time to return the favor." But this moment didn't start in Dubai. It started 72 hours earlier in the pharmacy aisle of a Kroger in suburban Atlanta, where Sarah stood with a calculator app open, trying to decide between name-brand ibuprofen or the generic that was $2 cheaper, when her phone buzzed with a bank notification that changed everything. $50,000 deposited. Memo. "For my queen, go spoil yourself, baby. You deserve it all." Sarah's vision actually blurred. The phone nearly slipped from her hand. An elderly woman reaching for arthritis cream asked if she was all right, and Sarah couldn't answer because her throat had closed around a sound that was either a laugh or a sob. She genuinely couldn't tell which. Marcus had never called her baby. Not once in 10 years. He called her Sarah when he was pleased with her and you when he wasn't. But baby, that word belonged to someone else. That money belonged to someone else. That entire life of being spoiled and treated like a queen belonged to someone else while Sarah stood in a Kroger trying to save $2 on painkillers. Her phone buzzed again. A text from Marcus. "Working late, don't wait up." Sarah stared at those 4 words. How many times had she received that exact message? How many Tuesday and Thursday nights had she eaten dinner alone while Marcus was out doing God knows what with God knows who? Except now she knew. Now she fucking knew. Her fingers moved before her brain caught up, opening her banking app, looking at recent deposits. There, hidden in the transaction history she'd never thought to examine closely, were others. Not the weekly $200 Marcus doled out like she was a child with an allowance. Different deposits, $2,000 3 months ago, $5,000 6 months before that, $8,000 last January, all with the same memo. "For my queen." The ibuprofen bottle slipped from Sarah's hand, clattering on the linoleum. She didn't pick it up. She walked out of the Kroger, leaving her cart in the aisle, and sat in her Honda Civic with its broken air conditioning that Marcus said they couldn't afford to fix because we need to be smart with money, Sarah. Do you understand compound interest? She called Lisa. No greeting, just, "He's cheating on me and I can prove it. and I have $50,000 of his money, and I need you right now." Lisa's voice went sharp and focused instantly. "Where are you?" "Kroger parking lot on Piedmont." "Don't move. I'm 15 minutes away." Sarah sat there in the June heat, sweat already beading on her forehead, staring at that deposit notification. For my queen. "Go spoil yourself, baby. You deserve it all." The words kept rearranging themselves in her mind, each reading driving the knife deeper. Marcus thought someone deserved to be spoiled. Just not her. Never her. When Lisa's car screeched into the parking spot next to her, Sarah was crying, ugly gasping sobs that she'd been holding back for what felt like years. Lisa took one look at her face and pulled her into a hug that smelled like the vanilla perfume she always wore, and something in Sarah just broke open. "Tell me everything," Lisa said. So Sarah did. The deposit, the memo, the pattern of previous transfers she'd never noticed, the constant working late texts, the way Marcus had changed his password 6 months ago, claiming it was for security, the gym memberships he suddenly needed, the new cologne, all the little things she'd noticed and dismissed and talked herself out of questioning because questioning Marcus always made her feel stupid. "Show me the deposit," Lisa demanded. Sarah handed over her phone. Lisa stared at the screen, her expression cycling through shock to rage to something that looked almost like admiration. "Sarah, this is the dumbest thing he's ever done. He just handed you evidence and $50,000. It was an accident. He meant to send it to her. I don't care if he meant to send it to the Pope. The money's in your account. That makes it yours." Lisa's wheels were already turning. Sarah could see it. "We need to move fast, though. When's he going to realize?" "I don't know. Maybe tonight? Maybe tomorrow? He's supposed to be working late." "Working late my ass. He's with her right now, which means we have a window." Lisa started the car. "We're going to your house. We're getting into his computer. And we're going to find out exactly how deep this goes before he realizes his mistake." 20 minutes later, they were in Sarah's house. The house she'd tried so hard to make into a home, despite Marcus treating it like a hotel he occasionally slept in. Lisa beelined for the den where Marcus kept his desktop computer, the expensive one he'd bought last year, and told Sarah was for work only. The computer was locked. Sarah typed in the password he'd used for years, Peterson 1978, his mother's maiden name and birth year. The screen unlocked. "He didn't even change this password," Lisa muttered. "Men are so fucking predictable." She pulled up Marcus's calendar first. Color-coded appointments filled the screen. Blue for work, green for personal, and red. So many red entries. Every Tuesday and Thursday evening, all labeled with a single letter, V. Sarah felt the room tilt slightly. V. Her name starts with V. Let's find out what else starts with V. Lisa opened Marcus's email. The inbox was organized into folders: work, personal, bills, and one labeled with just a heart emoji. Lisa clicked it. The folder contained 847 emails. 847, Sarah whispered. "How long has this been? Let's find out." Lisa opened the oldest email. It was dated April 15th, 14 months ago. The message was short. "Had an amazing time last night. Can't stop thinking about you. When can I see you again?" V. Marcus's response. "Tonight? Same place? I can't get you out of my head." Sarah made a sound she didn't recognize. Lisa gripped her hand hard enough to hurt. "Keep looking. We need documentation." They scrolled through months of emails. Vanessa sending photos of herself in lingerie with captions like, "Thinking of you," and "Wish you were here." Marcus responding with promises and plans and casual mentions of money. "Saw this necklace and thought of you. Ordered it to your apartment." Upgraded you to the premium gym membership. You deserve the best. Take this for shopping. Treat yourself, baby. The apartment. He'd rented her an apartment. I'm going to be sick, Sarah said. No, you're not. You're going to forward every single one of these emails to yourself, and then you're going to take him for everything he's worth. Lisa was already selecting emails, her fingers flying. We're building a case. How much has he spent on her? Let's find out. They created a spreadsheet. Dinner receipts forwarded to Vanessa, $375 at Marcel's. The restaurant Sarah had begged to go to for their anniversary and been told was too pretentious. A Tiffany necklace, $2,200. First and last month's rent on an apartment in Buckhead, $6,500. Gym membership upgrade, $200 a month for 14 months. The numbers climbed and climbed and climbed. By the time they'd gone through every email, the total was $168,123. Sarah stared at that number. That's more than I make in 3 years. That's more than most people make in 3 years. And he spent it all on a 25-year-old while you were clipping coupons. Lisa's voice shook with fury. Sarah, this isn't just cheating. This is financial abuse. He's been controlling every dollar you spend while throwing money at her like it's nothing. I asked him for $400 last month to fix my car's air conditioning. Sarah heard her voice coming from far away. He said no. He said I needed to learn the difference between wants and needs. But Vanessa's wants are needs, apparently. Lisa forwarded the entire folder to Sarah's personal email, then deleted the sent messages and emptied the trash. Okay, evidence secured. Now what? Sarah stood up, walked to the kitchen, opened the expensive whiskey Marcus kept for special occasions, and took a drink straight from the bottle. It burned going down. Good. She wanted to feel something other than this hollow ache in her chest. Now I spend it. All of it. Every single dollar he meant for her. I'm going to spend on myself. Sarah took another drink. And I want to meet her. Sarah, no, that's a terrible. I want to look her in the face and tell her that her rich boyfriend is married and the money's gone and see what she does. Sarah's hands had stopped shaking. Something cold and clear had settled over her, like ice forming over water. But first, I need to not look like this. She caught her reflection in the kitchen window. Same mousy brown hair she'd had since college because highlights were wasteful. Same tired face, same cheap clothes from Target clearance racks. She looked exactly like what she was, a woman who'd been systematically diminished for a decade. There's a salon, Lisa said carefully. The expensive one downtown. Takes walk-ins until 9. Sarah checked her phone. 6:42 p.m. Let's go. The salon was called Fringe, and it was exactly the kind of place Marcus would have forbidden her from entering. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist decor, stylists in all black who looked like they charged by the second. Sarah pushed through the door and approached the reception desk before she could lose her nerve. I need everything, she told the receptionist, a woman with a platinum pixie cut and elaborate eye makeup. Hair, color, cut, whatever you think. I have, she pulled out her phone, showed the balance. I have $50,000 and I want to look like a completely different person. The receptionist's eyes went wide. When? Right now. I'll pay extra. I'll pay whatever. 10 minutes later, Sarah was in a chair. A stylist named Marcus, the irony wasn't lost on her, running his hands through her hair and making thoughtful sounds. So we're going dramatic. Big change. New life kind of thing. Divorce kind of thing, Sarah corrected. Say less. I got you. Marcus, the stylist, grinned in the mirror. We're thinking warm caramel with golden highlights, long layers, something that says, I'm the one who got away and you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Perfect. 3 hours later, Sarah stared at herself in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman looking back. Her hair was 6 inches shorter, the mousy brown transformed into rich caramel that caught the light, framing her face in a way that made her look younger, softer, more alive. The stylist had also insisted on makeup, calling over someone named Trish, who did things with contouring that Sarah had only seen in YouTube tutorials. "Holy shit," Lisa breathed. "Sarah, you look different. You look expensive." The bill came to 1,947. Sarah paid without blinking. They walked out into the Atlanta night, and Sarah felt lighter, like she'd shed an old skin. "What now?" Lisa asked. "Now we go shopping. Real shopping. The kind Marcus would have a stroke over." Sarah pulled up her Maps app. "There's that boutique you're always talking about. Aurelie." "Sarah, that place is insane. A dress costs like—" "I know what things cost. For once in my goddamn life, I don't care." They drove to Buckhead, parked in front of a storefront that looked more like an art gallery than a clothing store. Sarah pushed open the door, heard the soft chime, took in the minimalist displays and the prices that weren't visible, because if you had to ask, you couldn't afford it. A sales associate glided over, her smile professional and slightly condescending as she took in Sarah's Target outfit. "Good evening. Can I help you find something?" Sarah pulled out her phone, opened her banking app, turned the screen around. "I need a complete wardrobe. Everything. I'm going on a trip and I literally have nothing to wear." The associate's expression transformed like someone had flipped a switch. Her eyes went to the balance, back to Sarah's face, and suddenly the condescension evaporated. "Of course. My name is Claire. Let me get you set up in one of our private suites. Champagne?" "Please." But as they followed Claire deeper into the store, Sarah's phone rang. Unknown number. She declined. It rang again immediately. Same number. A prickle of unease ran down her spine. "Hello? Is this Sarah Mitchell?" A woman's voice, young, uncertain. "Who is this?" "This is Vanessa. Look, I don't know what Marcus told you, but—" Sarah hung up. Her hands were shaking again. Vanessa, calling her. How did she even get this number? The phone rang again. Sarah answered. "How did you get my number?" "From Marcus's phone when he was in the shower. Look, can we just talk? He told me he was divorced. I didn't know he was married until—" "Until when? Until today? Until you noticed $50,000 didn't show up in your account?" Sarah's voice was rising. People in the boutique were starting to stare. "Let me guess. You called him. He's panicking. And now you're calling me to what? Apologize? Explain? I just want to. I don't care what you want. That money he promised you, I'm spending it. Right now. On myself. Every single dollar." Sarah felt something wild and reckless taking over. "And you know what else? I'm going to Dubai. First class. The trip he promised you. I'm taking it." She hung up, blocked the number, turned to Lisa, whose eyes were huge. "Did you just—" "She called me. She fucking called me." Sarah was breathing hard, adrenaline flooding her system. "She said he told her he was divorced. That lying piece of—" Claire reappeared with champagne, her expression carefully neutral, like she hadn't just overheard everything. "Your suite is ready whenever you are." Sarah downed the champagne in 2 gulps. "Let's go. And Claire, whatever you think my budget is, double it." The next hour was a blur of silk and cashmere and price tags that made Sarah's vision swim. But every time she hesitated, every time that voice in her head that sounded suspiciously like Marcus started calculating the cost, she remembered that spreadsheet. $168,423. She remembered Vanessa's voice on the phone, young and confused, another woman Marcus had lied to. She remembered 10 years of store-brand groceries and broken air conditioning and being made to feel guilty for wanting basic dignity. She bought the Valentino dress that cost $4,000, the Zimmermann that was $3,000, the Gucci shoes, the leather jacket that cost more than her monthly grocery budget for a year. She bought things just because they were beautiful. She bought things just because Claire said they looked good on her. She bought things because she could. When Claire rang everything up, her fingers flying over an iPad, the total came to $31,147. How would you like to pay? Sarah handed over her card, the one linked to the account with Marcus's guilt money. The card reader beeped. Approved. Something must have shown on Sarah's face because Claire said gently, "Are you all right? I just spent more money in an hour than my husband let me spend in a year." Sarah started laughing, couldn't stop. "I'm perfect. I'm absolutely perfect." They loaded the bags into Lisa's car, garment bags and boxes with Auralie's gold logo, physical evidence of Sarah's rebellion. Her phone buzzed constantly, texts from Marcus, calls from unknown numbers. She ignored all of it. "It's 10 p.m., Lisa said. "Most places are closed." "Not everything." Sarah was Googling on her phone, that reckless feeling still fizzing in her veins. "When's the last time you took a vacation?" "What are you—" "Sarah, no. Whatever you're thinking." Vanessa was supposed to go to Dubai. Marcus promised her first-class tickets, 5-star hotel, the works. He wanted her to feel like a queen. Sarah looked up from her phone, her eyes bright and slightly manic. "I'm going to Dubai, tonight, and you're coming with me." "That's insane. We can't just fly to Dubai. We don't have—" "I have my passport. Do you have yours?" "Yes, but then we're going. Right now." Sarah was already pulling up the Emirates Airlines website. "I'm going to spend every dollar he meant for her, and I'm going to do it in the exact place he promised to take her. And when he realizes where I am and what I'm doing, it's going to destroy him." Lisa stared at her for a long moment. Then she pulled out her own phone. "I'm calling Anthony, and then we're stopping by my place so I can pack. And Sarah, if we're doing this, we're doing it right. Book the most expensive room they have." Sarah's hands shook as she navigated the website. First-class tickets, leaving in 6 hours, $9,000 each. The Burj Al Arab Hotel, the iconic sail-shaped building. She scrolled through room options. Standard suite, club suite, panoramic suite, royal suite, $4,000 per night. She booked it for 3 nights without letting herself think. The total came to $42,637. Sarah hit confirm. Her phone immediately exploded with a fraud alert. She called the bank, her heart hammering, terrified Marcus had somehow already frozen the account. "Yes, these charges are legitimate," she told the bored customer service representative. "I'm booking a trip, a surprise trip." "To Dubai?" "Yes, that's quite a surprise. I've cleared the alert. Anything else?" "No, thank you." Sarah hung up and stared at her phone. Confirmation emails were already flooding in. Emirates Airlines, Burj Al Arab, Desert Adventures Dubai. Each one felt like a small bomb going off in her carefully controlled life. "Okay," Lisa said, returning from her call. "Anthony thinks I've lost my mind, but he said, have fun and be safe. We need to go to my house, then yours, and then we need to be at the airport by 4 a.m. They drove through dark Atlanta streets, the city quiet in that liminal space between midnight and dawn. When they pulled into Sarah's driveway, the house was dark. Marcus's BMW was gone. Still at his meeting. Still with Vanessa, probably trying to figure out where the money went, why Sarah wasn't answering her phone. Inside, Sarah moved mechanically, throwing clothes into a suitcase. Not her usual clothes. The new things. The Valentino, the Zimmermann, the Gucci shoes. She was zipping the suitcase when she heard it. The garage door opening. Marcus was home. Fuck. Lisa hissed from the doorway. What do we do? Nothing. We do nothing. But Sarah's hands were shaking as she heard the garage door close, heard Marcus's footsteps in the hall, heard him call out her name with that edge of irritation that meant he wanted something. Sarah, why are all the lights on? Where are... He appeared in the bedroom doorway and stopped. His eyes went from her new hair to the suitcase, to Lisa standing there with her own bag. What's going on? Where are you going? Dubai. Sarah's voice came out steadier than she felt. Marcus laughed, sharp and humorless. Dubai? Sarah, what are you talking about? We can't afford... He stopped. His face changed. Wait, the money. You saw the $50,000 you meant to send your girlfriend? Yeah, Marcus, I saw it. The color drained from his face. Sarah, I can explain. Can you? Because I'd love to hear how you explain calling her your queen. How you explain spending $168,000 on her over the past year while telling me we couldn't afford to fix my car. How you explain the apartment you're renting for her, the dinners at Marcel's, the Tiffany necklace, you went through my computer. His voice shifted, anger replacing shock. You had no right. I had no right? Sarah's voice rose to a shout. You're fucking someone else. You're spending our money on her, and you're telling me I have no right. That money was mine. We've been married for 10 years. It's our money, and a judge is going to agree with me when I file for divorce Monday morning. Marcus's face went through emotions too fast to track. Divorce? Sarah, wait. We can talk about this. We can fix this. I'll end things with Vanessa. We'll go to counseling. You want to fix this? You want to fix 10 years of treating me like I'm worth nothing while you play sugar daddy to a 25-year-old? Sarah grabbed her suitcase. I would have forgiven you if you'd come to me a year ago and said you'd made a mistake, that you wanted to work on us. I would have tried. But you didn't. You lied to me every single day. You made me feel crazy for questioning you. You made me feel guilty for wanting basic fucking dignity. She pushed past him. Lisa followed, but Marcus grabbed Sarah's arm. Don't touch me, Sarah said, her voice dropping to something cold and dangerous. Sarah, please, just think about what you're doing. You're throwing away 10 years. No, Marcus. She wrenched her arm free. You threw it away when you sent that first email, when you rented her that apartment, when you called her your queen while treating me like I was lucky you let me exist. I'm just done pretending I didn't notice. She walked to Lisa's car, loaded her suitcase, didn't look back. In the rearview mirror, she saw Marcus standing in the driveway, looking small and lost and blindsided by consequences. You okay? Lisa asked as they merged onto the highway. Sarah thought about it. Her marriage was over. Her husband had betrayed her. She was flying halfway around the world on revenge money. She should be devastated. Instead, she felt light. Yeah, Sarah said. I actually am. The airport at 4 a.m. was nearly empty. They checked in at Emirates, the agent's eyebrows rising at the first-class tickets booked hours earlier. Last-minute trip, Sarah explained. Must be important. It is. The first-class lounge was another world. Leather chairs, champagne, food Sarah wouldn't have let herself order before. She filled a plate, sat down, and took out her phone. Her Instagram hadn't been updated in 6 months. She took a photo of her champagne glass, the Emirates lounge visible in the background. Sometimes life gives you lemons. Sometimes it accidentally gives you $50,000 meant for your husband's mistress. Either way, make champagne. Dubai bound. New beginnings. Plot twist. She posted before she could second-guess herself. The comments started immediately. Friends she hadn't talked to in years, her sister, college acquaintances, all variations of what and call me and you look amazing. Her phone rang. Rachel. Her sister. Sarah declined, sent a text. Long story, I'm fine. Better than fine. We'll call when I land. Their flight was called. They boarded through a separate entrance, were greeted by name, led to seats that were individual pods with doors. Sarah had never flown anything but coach. This was a different universe. "This is absolutely insane," Lisa whispered. "These seats turn into beds." Marcus wanted Vanessa to experience this. Sarah pressed the button that reclined her seat flat. "Turns out I can experience it too." The flight was 14 hours. Sarah slept hard, dreamless, and woke to breakfast service on real plates. Through the window, desert gave way to Dubai's skyline, all impossible towers rising from sand. They landed, passed through customs, emerged into heat that felt like a physical force. A driver waited with Sarah's name on a sign. He led them to a Mercedes, drove them through the city, while Sarah stared at architecture that seemed to defy physics. The Burj Al Arab rose from the Gulf like a fever dream. Staff materialized, taking their bags, offering cold towels, leading them through a lobby that made Aurelie look understated. "Miss Mitchell, welcome. We have you in our royal suite." The suite was on the 25th floor. When the butler, they had a butler, opened the door, Sarah actually gasped. Floor-to-ceiling windows, living room bigger than her house, gold fixtures, a jacuzzi tub, robes that felt like clouds. "This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen," Lisa said, walking from room to room. "How much did this cost?" $4,000 a night. "Marcus is going to have a stroke." "Good." Sarah walked to the window, looked out at impossible blue water and white sand. She pulled out her phone, took a photo. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them, and then book the royal suite they promised someone else. The post went up. Likes and comments flooded in immediately. Her phone started ringing. Marcus. She declined. He called again. Declined. A text appeared. "Sarah, please, this is crazy. Come home. We'll figure this out." Sarah blocked his number. Another text from an unknown number. "This is Vanessa. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Please call me." Sarah took a screenshot, added it to her evidence folder, blocked the number. "What do you want to do first?" Lisa asked. Sarah thought about Marcus at home, panicking, about Vanessa realizing her money was gone, about 10 years of making herself smaller. "I want to go shopping," Sarah said. "I want to buy things I don't need with money I wasn't supposed to have." Dubai Mall wasn't a mall, it was a city. Sarah bought designer clothes, jewelry, perfume, things just because they were beautiful. Each purchase felt like shedding another piece of her old life. By the time they returned to the hotel, she'd spent another $11,223. They ordered room service that cost more than Sarah's weekly grocery budget, ate on the balcony overlooking the Gulf. "Can I ask you something?" Lisa said quietly. "Are you okay? Actually okay?" Sarah thought about it seriously. Was she okay? Her marriage was over. Her husband had betrayed her completely. She was in a foreign country spending money recklessly. She felt free. "I'm better than okay," Sarah said. "For 10 years I let Marcus convince me I was worth nothing, that wanting things made me selfish, that needing things made me demanding. And you know what? Fuck that. Fuck all of that." Her phone buzzed, her lawyer confirming their Monday appointment. Sarah raised her champagne glass toward the city lights. "Marcus can explain to a divorce court why his mistress deserved $50,000, but his wife deserved nothing. The money would run out. Real life would come crashing back. But right now, in this impossible city, in this ridiculous suite, Sarah Mitchell was a queen, and that was enough."